Hello, comparative religions, and welcome to the lessons for this week. This week, we're going to be focusing on our second polytheistic society, ancient Greece. Now, there are a little bit more notes on this lesson and in the next lesson than there were, say, on ancient Egypt. Okay, so be sure you are taking the information down as we go through both lessons. I will try to give you a heads up as to what I want you to copy down, but be sure you're taking notes. Again, there's no little assessment on Greece, but the information contained in these presentations will be on a much larger assessment dealing with polytheistic religions. Okay, so be sure you are copying the notes down. Now, in this first lesson, what we're going to go over is kind of the background to Greece, as well as the major gods and goddesses. And then in the second lesson, we're going to be talking about some of the heroes of Greek mythology. Okay, so let's get into the historical background first. Now, I do want you to copy down this slide. The Greek Empire lasts from around 700 BCE until about 300 CE, or the influence of the Greek Empire lasts from around 700 BCE to around 300 CE. Now, definitely get this point down. Most of our references to Greek religion are found in the epics of Homer, the Iliad, and the Odyssey. Okay, those are his two epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey. So most of our knowledge of Greek religion comes from these two sources. It is definitely a polytheistic society. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. These are definitely gods and goddesses. And unlike in ancient Egypt, these gods and goddesses are going to be in human form. In fact, these gods and goddesses personify the emotion and behavior that humans experience. Okay, so the gods and goddesses of ancient Greece are very much like the humans on earth. Okay, they are really going to represent us in their realm. Okay, because of that, and I want you to get down this next slide as well. Because of that, Greek religion focuses on the daily life. The gods and goddesses play a very important role in the daily lives of the Greeks. Okay, and your current life is much more important than any afterlife. In fact, there really isn't a huge emphasis on the afterlife. It's almost like Mesopotamia. The afterlife is not pleasant. Okay. You definitely want to make the most of the time that you have here more than worrying about the afterlife. So the emphasis on the daily lives, the interaction with the day on a daily basis with the lives of the people on earth between them and the gods and goddesses, and the emphasis on the present, not the afterlife. These stories from the Iliad and the Odyssey are used to convey messages of morality and action. In some cases, they are very, very similar to the parables that you will find in monotheistic faiths. The parables are stories that teach morals. So in the Odyssey and the Iliad, you're going to find stories of the way that you're supposed to act. And you're always supposed to act in a moral way, and you're supposed to take action. Okay, that's when we get into the stories with the heroes. Okay, the heroes are men and women of action. Okay, and they also happen to be good as well. They are moral as well. So that's kind of some of the background to Greek religion and Greek mythology. Now let's get into these key gods and goddesses, okay? And I want you to really copy down all of the gods and goddesses, okay? I want you to copy down all the gods and goddesses. They're very, very brief descriptions, okay? The king of the gods in Greek religion is Zeus, okay? And he is represented by lightning and storms. In fact, he controls lightning and storms. He is the son of a titan, Cronus. Okay, Cronus is his father. But the king of the gods is Zeus. He has a couple of brothers. One of his brothers is Poseidon. And Poseidon is the god of the seas. Okay, and Poseidon is also going to control the Kraken, okay, which is this great undersea monster. Poseidon will control the Kraken. Brother to Zeus and brother to Poseidon is Hades. And Hades is the god of the underworld and the keeper of souls. And you can see there beside him in this picture is his three-headed dog, Cerberus. All right. But again, even though there's an underworld, it is not a pleasant place. Okay. Once again, the focus is on your current life, not your afterlife. And the underworld is not a pleasant place to be in. Zeus is married. All right. It's a very interesting marriage because Zeus is also married to a sister. Okay. Hera is his wife and his sister. Hera is the goddess of marriage and the home. Now, the reason that we're listing the characteristics of these gods and goddesses, and I know I'm going through them fairly quickly, is we're going to talk briefly about religious practices in the next lesson. And because we know that religious activity takes place on a daily basis because the gods interact on a daily basis with people, you want to please these gods in order that they will bless the areas that they control. Like if you're going out to sea, you want to make sure that Poseidon is happy so that he doesn't send hurricanes and storms to wreck your boat. If you want a happy marriage, if you want a happy home, you want to be sure Hera is pleased. Okay. And if you want to make sure everything is going well, you probably want to make sure Zeus is happy. Okay. So that's why we're listing the specific areas that these gods and goddesses control, is because you want them to be happy in order to bless you in those areas. Okay. Now, Athena is next. Athena is the daughter of Zeus. And supposedly she sprang out of Zeus's head. You can see that here in this image down here. She just kind of magically appeared out of Zeus's head. As so, she is the goddess of wisdom because she comes from his head. And she's also the goddess of military victory. You'll notice that she's often depicted in armor, a helmet, a spear, chest plate, those sort of things. Okay, so the daughter of Zeus is Athena, and she is the goddess of wisdom and military victory. Our goddess of love is Aphrodite. All right, you can see her there in the chariot drawn by the birds there. But if you want a successful love life, if you want a relationship to be blessed with love and blossom into love, then you want to be sure that you're praying to Aphrodite and you're making Aphrodite happy. Now, even though Athena is the goddess of military victory, the god of war and conflict is Ares. Okay, Ares is the god of war and conflict. All right, if you want victory, pray to Athena. If you want, if you want to be powerful, make sure Ares is on your side. The gods have a messenger. That's how they communicate amongst themselves. It's also how they communicate with mankind. And the messenger god is Hermes. All right, and you can see he's got wings on his feet and on his back, and even his helmet has wings. All right, and I believe the wings on the feet here, I think that is where we get the inspiration for the Nike logo. Okay, because Hermes is the messenger god, and he's swift with the wind. All right. Dionysus is the god of parties. He's the god of wine and celebration. All right, so if you want to have a good party, pray to Dionysus. We talked about Athena. Sorry about that. We talked about Athena being the daughter of Zeus. Apollo is the son of Zeus. Now, he has a twin sister, Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of the hunt and animals. Apollo is the god of music, prophecy, sickness, and medicine. All right. Yes, Greek religion is polytheistic, but you're not going to find as many gods here as, say, you would in Mesopotamia or Egypt. But at the same time, some of the jobs of the gods overlap a little bit, and then some of the gods are responsible for a lot, like Apollo. He's the god of music, prophecy, sickness, and medicine. All right, there's a lot that Apollo is in charge of. And then last but not least, the last god I want to mention is Hephaestus, who is the builder and craftsman of the gods. Okay, and he's got his big hammer there. He's going to forge weapons for the gods using that hammer. Now, that's a little bit to the background of the religion. Okay, and those are the key gods and goddesses in Greek religion. Another key component, and this comes out of the Iliad and the Odyssey, is how the gods and goddesses interact with humans. And some of those humans are going to become the legends, the heroes of Greek religion. So in our next lesson, that's what we're going to be looking at, are the heroes of Greek religion, as well as briefly mention some of the other religious practices.